Hello, everyone out there. Uh, Here we are, middle of November, or actually next week being Thanksgiving. I wanted to leave you guys off with a video of what I'm doing until after the holidays. So again, I'm going to adjust this camera here to show you a little bit about this. And here we are with a bottom fed box mod. Now, I happened to just be down a buddy of mine's shop, and on his desk, what caught my eye is I seen something similar to this with the opening. And I saw, like, the tank there, and I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh, it's a bottom fed mod. I'm like, is that something new? Do you guys sell? He goes, no, it's my personal one. I got this from Italy. And he was telling me about the website, showing me a little bit about it. But they were about $400 to $700. So, I mean, it's quite a bit. So I asked him if I could take a few pictures. And I actually was picking something up at his shop. And I saw, a few things that I was interested in. I was showing him some of the stuff that I did, some corncob pipes, and a couple of box mods made out of the Altoid boxes that I was showing him. So he got a kick out of it. And I asked him if I could take some pictures and do some research to see if I could come up and make one. He said, by all means. So I did that. And here we are almost 3 weeks later. And what I had done is decided to see what I could come up and create. So I found a couple of companies locally. And one gentleman was kind enough. I mean, I just couldn't believe this. For a gentleman in business selling his own stuff, I called him and I asked him if there was any parts that I could buy. I told him I was trying to build one straight out. I was explaining to him, and he says, well, I could sell you parts, but, it's simple. That's why I sell them. That's why I make them. You can make your own. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, I'm going to explain this to you now. He stayed on the phone with me for almost an hour. I just couldn't believe that he stayed on the phone that long. So, beginning of December, I'm going to be getting a box mod from him. He's actually going to be sending me one so I can show you guys about this. I'll give you his website, everything, all the contact information. Real nice guy. So anyway, I'm going to explain this to you real quick. Let me start off with this. When you squeeze the tube through the top, I don't know how good you're going to see this. Watch the center. There goes the fluid. So I'm going to let that soak for a minute as I'm showing you this. And on the inside, he was kind enough to explain to me how all this actually works. So I'm using an 18500 battery. That's all I had on at the time. I was going to use an 18650. But right now it works pretty good for what it is. So I'm going to start off with the tank and explain to you what he explained to me. Now this is just a regular tank without the hoses that you would get when you go get your, you come home with your fluid. So inside here, if you notice, there's a tube on the inside, and that's surgical tube. So it's, clean. Plus I boil it anyway just to be safe. Make sure there's no toxins, nothing. But again, when you squeeze the tank, the fluid gets pushed up through the top and out this hole and into the brass tubing. And that's what I'm going to show you now. On the inside here, you take your 510 connector and your atomizer and you drill it out. Or you actually take the center pins out. So I took the center pin out of the atomizer and the 510 connector and just leaving a hole there. Now, sometimes you have to drill it depending on what size you're using. And right now I was lucky enough that when I did take it apart, everything came out really nice and neat. And I actually saved the little plastic tubing, what was on the inside. And that, what I was going to do is I was going to use a piece of this tubing. It's just for insulation, by the way. You leave this about 1 inch on the top and 1 inch on the bottom. And this the plastic tubing would go in first, and then this would go in between because you don't want to short anything out. So it has to be insulated. So again, just picture that brass tubing being right in the center of both the atomizer and the 510 connector. Now inside here, as you can see, there's the tubing, and it goes right through and out the top, even with the other two posts, which are being ground. And how I did that is, if you can see, not only does it act as the feed tube, but it also acts as the positive lead. So the positive being soldered here into one side of my switch, from the opposite side of the switch right to the positive connection. The ground, however, comes from the bottom, ground, all the way up into the 510 connector. So outside being ground, inside being positive. So it's really a simple fix once you know what to do. So again, you can see here, that's fitted nice and snug, nothing leaks, nothing drips, nothing falls out. Again with my battery. And I'll be using some copper the next time. I'll be using copper connections because I just think it would be a little bit better of a conductor. So again, let me take a quick drag here and show you this. Nice flavor every single time, nice punch. So again, a little bit of carving on the box. It's a 3-piece box actually. Back being one piece, middle being another piece, and the front being the door. And what I do is I take my Sawzall after, or my little machine over here, I shouldn't say Sawzall, just my little, it's like a saw machine almost, and it's just got the little, you know, needle that goes up and down, and you can take it off, and like drill a center hole, and then I'll just like take everything out the middle, and then I have to do some sanding and shaping. And if you can see here again, I used my own battery holder, because the battery holders I was getting at Radio Shack just was not doing it right. But the push pin is from Radio Shack. Wires are just extra wires that I have lying around from all my hobbies. Again, my cover here, if you notice, again, the hole that I made a little bit bigger. On the opposite side, it's a smaller hole, but I just covered it with some tape right now because I'm using a single coil. And then right here on the tip, how good you're going to see this, see if we can see that. There it is, the hole I punched in here. It just gives it the right amount of airflow to give you that fog. If you cool it down just enough, but not too much, you'll get a nice cloud out of it. So again, that's how I actually built it. And another reason why I built it is because if I spent $400 to $700 on this, I would end up looking like this guy right here in the cage is when my wife would let me out, especially at the holidays. And she can end up looking like this after we just got out of Halloween. She looks like that sometimes when she yells at me. So here we go again. I don't want to mess with her. Now, all kidding aside, I just wanted to not like really spend, you know, $400 to $700 on a mod like this. Again, when I get the next one in, I'll be showing you guys that. So I hope this actually helps someone out there. Now again, this cost me about $85 to do, my first one. And again, my second and third one, whenever I do them, are going to come out a lot neater than this, which I don't think it came out too bad. But I just know what to do to hide some of the stuff like, you know, the siding here and all that. But again, it works rather well. And I was surprised that it actually did when I fired it up. So again, I hope this helps someone out there. What I'll be doing is I'll be putting a few of these up online. And actually, my buddy wants me to make a few things for him and bring them down. But if you guys are interested, I figured, you know, starting these off right around anywhere from 120 and going up to 160, depending on what you guys want in them. Again, there's a lot of work to be done on carving and everything. It's worth a little bit of time. And then again, with the switch, the atomizer, the 510 connector, the wiring, the hoses, everything, depending on what battery and everything you're going to use, I'll start them off right around 120 and go as high as 160. So if you guys are interested, you know, leave a comment below. Again, I hope this helps you as I explain. If you guys want to try to build one, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Again, with the holidays coming up, guys, be safe. Happy holidays. Happy Turkey Day. And I'll see you guys right after the holiday. Again, as always, safe vaping. And take care. See you after the holidays.